He has worked as officiating director as well as head of the department CSE in Uttaranchal Institute of Technology, Dehradun. He has worked as associate professor and employability boot camp coordinator at Chandigarh University, Mohali, Punjab. He has supervised more than 35 students of MTech. He is a member of several academic and administrative bodies, including CSI. His area of research includes big data analytics, cloud computing, wireless sensor networks, network security, neural network, artificial intelligence, and mobile ad hoc network. Sir, we welcome you at webinar series of Oro University. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Papri Ghosh, for introducing me. And I want to thank Dr. Sunil Kumar from Oro University for inviting me to deliver this big data analytics challenges and opportunities in future. So thank you very much. Thank you all the panelists. Thank you Oro University, and thanks everyone. So good morning, myself Dr. Sumit Chaudahry. As ma'am already introduced me, so there is no introduction, self-introduction required here. So shall I start, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, fine. So as you know, today's topic is big data analytics. So before starting this big data analytics, we must know like what is data. Even you already knows what is data, but for introduction, I'm telling you what is basically data. Data is facts and figures that we have in the form of raw. So raw data we have, and when we'll process the data, then after that we will have information of that. For an example, if I'll write 10,000, right? If I'm writing 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, anything. So you will questioning me like, sir, what is this 10,000, 20,000, 30,000? At the same time, I can say like, this is the salary of an employee who is getting monthly, right? So now that 10,000 will be converted into information. So this is the basic difference between data and information. Until unless we will not process that particular data, so we can't say it's information. So data can be anything, data can be any object, but until unless we will not process that particular data, we cannot say it's information, right? So I'll move to my first PPT. Just 1 second. Yeah. So in today's session, this is the agenda point that I have. Why we need big data analytics and why it becomes so important. So this will be our first agenda of this session, that is why we require big data, and what are the future scope we have using this big data. Next, the agenda will be what is exactly big data analytics. We are talking about every time like big data analytics, but what it is. So the next we will discuss about this. Third one is, what are the different types of tools which are required for big data analytics. So that we will discuss different tools that are required to analyze the data, and we can say that is related to big data analytics. Number 4, if I talk about, so the fourth one will be the domain. So we will discuss the domains where we can use it and the different use cases that is related to the real world where we are using big data, that we will discuss about. And finally, we will discuss the different trends which are related to big data analytics. So what trends we have related to big data analytics, finally we will discuss it, right? So I'm going to start with first agenda, that is why big data analytics. So if I talk about big data, and data is basically explosion of data we have. You can consider from different resources we have data, like social media we have, like Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. So we have, huge amount of data we have. And in banking sector also we have a very huge amount of data. And the government sites we are accessing, there also a huge amount of data we have. So if we create 2.5 continuum of data every day, so data comes in from various source and has different format. So what one quintillion of data is approximately equal to 10 to the power 18 bytes. So that you can consider every day how much data we are creating. If we have data, then obviously we have to analyze that data. If we want to go for any output, then we have to access it and we have to analyze it, right? So that's how. And that source, as I told you, different source we have: social media, and government size, banking sector, etc. Different Netflix you can consider, Amazon Prime you can consider. Many different users have been registered over there. So the data of users we have, and we can analyze in different format according to the business demand, I can say, and according to different things, right? So this enormous collection of data is big data. So what is big data? Basically, we have huge amount of data. I can say explosion of data we have. So if we want to analyze it, that's called big data analytics. And the data in a form, we can say it's big data, right? Next one is the characteristics of big data we'll discuss about, and we have 5V, right? So I'll start with number one, that is called volume. So volume is basically huge amount of data we have, that enormous amount of data I can say. So that is called volume. This is the first character. Second characteristics, we have variety. So variety, you can say, in different formats we have data from various sources. So what different formats we have? We have three kind of formats basically. Number one, we can say it's structured data. Structured data is related to relational database. That particular we can store that data in form of tables, and I can say in row and column. So that is called relational database. So that is called structured data. Number second, we have unstructured data. Unstructured data you can consider, like if we have data in form of audio, in form of images, in form of videos. So that kind of data is called as unstructured data, because we cannot store in one table, because data can be of different type. If I talk about audio file, so it can be MP3, it can be different kind of formats we have. And as it is in video file, we can have MP4, AVG, and different kind of formats we have in video file. So we cannot store in one table. So that's why it is called as unstructured data, and it is the form of NoSQL. If I talk about the structured, it is the form of SQL data. That means we can store in relational database, but unstructured data is the form of NoSQL. And the third one, you can say it's semi-structured data. That one time you can say it's a combination of structured and unstructured. Like you can consider XML file, right? So that's how we have three type of formats of data. And as I told you, the number three, we have value. So value is deriving meaningful data from entire collection of big data. That means we have to extract useful data. As I told you, it's information. So according to my need, so I can extract that kind of data from huge amount of data, that I can say big data. So that will be called as value. So I can represent it by extract useful data. That's called value. Number four, we have its velocity. Velocity is basically high speed of accumulation of data. So rate at which data is being generated is called velocity. So at what rate we are generating the data, that's called velocity. And the last characteristic we have, that is veracity. So veracity is basically you can say inconsistency or uncertainty in the data. If we will calculate, so that will be called as veracity. So total 5V we have. So as I told you, volume, variety, value, velocity, and veracity. So these 5 characteristics of big data we have. So next point we will discuss about need of big data analytics. So what is the need? Why it requires? Why big data analytics is required? So it's most important thing. Like I'll discuss 3-4 points here, so that it will be easy for you to understand it. Like number one, making smarter and more efficient organization. So how we can make smarter and more efficient organization. Organization, you can consider any kind of any type of organization. So according to what we will do here, according to past data, we can analyze the data of most crime location, and we can deploy more officers to control the situation. Like you can see, I'm just taking one example of that. In a particular city, if I'll see the particular location, in past we had most crime in that location. So according to the past data, we can analyze it, and we can depute some officers at that location, so that the chances of crime in future will be very less. So that's how. But in that case, we must have the past data. On the behalf of that data, we will analyze it, and accordingly we will do the procedure, right? And you can consider another example, like in organization like university, where we see the class. I can consider one class that is most indisciplined, creative. So what we will do, so we will depute some of the discipline measures in that class, so that in future we will not see indiscipline of that particular class. So for that also we must have the past data of that particular class, and we can apply all the measures over there. And as it is number 3 example, I can tell you, in hospitals, if I'll see, like heart disease patients are coming more. So what we'll do, according to the past data of patient, we can deploy more doctors, specialists to that disease, so that we can monitor the patient more efficiently. So all these things, we can make smarter and more efficient any kind of organization if we are using big data analytics. So as an example, you can see here, New York Police Department is utilizing data patterns, scientific analysis, and technological tools to prevent the occurrence of crime, right? Number 2 is like optimize business operation by analyzing customer behavior. So the best example I want to take here, it's Amazon. So Amazon uses customer click stream data and historical purchase data of more than 300 million customers, and each user is shown customized result on customized web pages. So you can consider, according to the past purchase of the customer, we can recommend the related product to that particular customer, so that our business will increase, right? So what we'll do, we will analyze all the clicks of every visitor on a website. For an example, if you'll purchase any mobile phone from Amazon, so next time you will see the recommendation. If you want to buy this phone, at the same time you can buy the back cover and the tempered glass at the same time, right? So that's how this analysis works, and it will recommend you the similar product, what do you want to purchase from there. So studying the path leading them to buy products, and customer satisfaction is also the main concern that we can achieve from big data analytics, right? So next one is we have cost reduction. So how we can reduce the cost? So big data technology like Hadoop we have, and cloud-based analytics we have. So we can reduce the cost using these tools significantly for storage of big data, like like the costing of servers and the system, the storage. We can reduce, and the cost will be very high of servers and storage. So we can reduce it, and by using Hadoop, what exactly Hadoop does? It basically store big data in a distributed fashion and processes parallelly. So Hadoop, what it will do? It will distribute the data, and it will process parallelly, so that we can analyze the data more efficiently, right? So that's how Parkland Hospital uses analytics and predictive modeling to identify high risk patient and predict like outcome once patients are sent home. As a result, Parkland reduces 30-day readmission for patient with heart failure by 31%, saving $5 lakh annually. So what is the concern? Basically, you just see, one can think of, if we will do the cost reduction in terms of business, so it will be loss for the particular business person, but it's not like that. So you can see the example in front of your screen. So what they did in Parkland Hospital, they used analytics and predictive modeling, and we can monitor patient, and patient are sitting at home. So we can put different sensor, we can implant it, and after that we can monitor the position, the different values from sitting home, and the patient can be home also, and after that we can monitor that particular patient, and the rest of the beds at my hospital we can utilize for another patient. So in that manner we can reduce the cost, and we can earn more at the same time, right? Next one is number 4. We have next generation products. So you can consider next generation. Some of them we are using right now also. Like number 1, we have Google self-driving cars. So using it uses basically big data analytics by using Google Map and perform operation like when to take break, when we can increase the speed, when we have to take left, when we have to take right. So Google self-driving cars also uses big data analytics. Like Toyota Prius is fitted with cameras, GPS, as well as powerful computer and sensors to safely drive on the road without the intervention of human beings. So that is the best example that we will see in near future. Even some of the companies, Tesla, Toyota, they have made this kind of self-driving cars, but that is not for for personal use up to now. So in future we will see that kind of self-driving cars with us. Number B, we have like Netflix. So Netflix, we can see one series, House of Cards. We have around 6 sessions of that, and how Netflix take risk to monitor that much of users. Many users have seen that particular season, but at the same time, how we can monitor the users. So we can use big data analytics. We can check the fraudulent if it will take place in future, and we can monitor all the users over Netflix. And we have huge amount of user data on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar. different kind of this platform you can consider. Next one I want to take is the smart yoga mat. So smart yoga mat has sensor embedded in the mat, will be able to provide feedback on your posture, score of your practice, and even guide you through an at home practice. So that kind of smart yoga mat will tell you like where you are doing mistake, so how you can overcome the mistake in near future. So that will be also the example of big data analytics using past data what you have done, right? Next I want to take the next topic we have. What is big data analytics? Now we have the background of big data analytics, but exactly what is big data analytics? So if I talk about it, it helps large companies to fascinating and growth. This is the big and major concern of big data analytics, so that the companies can fascinate and can grow in exponentially manner, right? So majorly applying data mining algorithm for these organizations for making better decisions, right? So this is the thing, like big data analytics examines large and different types of data to uncover hidden pattern, correlation, and other insights. So that is the basic use of big data analytics, that how we can say this is big data analytics. Now come to the next point. What are the different stages we have in big data analytics? So that we will see now, the different stages. Like number one, identifying problems. So what is the problem? So what we have to do? First we have to see what is the problem. Any user, any businessman, I can say. So we have to see as a business analytic, I have to see what is the exact problem we have and what we need to solve it, right? Number two, we'll see what kind of data is required for analyzing. So problem I have, but what kind of data we need to analyze it. So the designing data requirement, the data requirement will be the next phase here. Next one, number three, we have pre-processing data. So the pre-processing you can consider, first we will do the cleaning of the data, so that exact data we will have, and you can perform some sort of processing into that data. So that is called pre-processing of the data. Number four step will be analyzing the process data using various methods. So we have to analyze the data. We have to analyze the data using different kind of methods that we will discuss later on. And number five step will have, finally, when we have done this analytics, or we have done data analysis, after that we can visualize it, so that it will be more comfortable for that particular user to understand it. Because data, through that data, you cannot say like this is the analysis we have, and it will be more difficult to understand for the user or for that particular businessman. So we can visualize it, so that it will be very easy to understand it, right? Now we will discuss about what kind of different types we have of big data analytics. So next one, we have types of big data analytics. So if we have different kind of big data analytics also, that will be considered like, number one, descriptive analysis. Number two, predictive analysis. Number three, prescriptive analysis. And number four, diagnostic analysis. So I'll start with descriptive analysis. So this is one type of big data analytics. So what is happening now based on incoming data for this descriptive analysis? The term will also, you can consider, you can understand very easily with the term like descriptive analysis. it must have past data. If we will not have the past data, so we cannot describe, for future or for present. So answer your question, what has happened, like check what has happened in past, and based on incoming data it will answer, right? So we must have past data, and according to the past data you will get the answer of any question you can consider for present or you can consider for future also. So we must have some kind of tool, that is Google Analytic tool. So according this may be the best example of this type. And a business gets result from the web server through the tool, which help understand what exactly actually happened in the past and validate if a promotional campaign was successful or not based on basic parameter like page views. So by analyzing result using Google Analytic tool through outcome, we must have that kind of tool, and we can have the analytic according to the past data, and accordingly we will have like the whatever we have analyzed, it will be successful for future or it will not, right? So that's how it's descriptive analysis. Next, I can have the example of Netflix in the same, like according to the customer behavior or the customer preference, I can recommend the seasons or the movies that is related to that particular user, what he has seen or she has seen in past, and accordingly we can recommend for future movies or future seasons, right? Number two, we have predictive analysis. Predictive analysis uses a statistical model and forecast technique. So forecast technique, it can predict what will be future outcome. Through sensors we can predict what a malfunction can occur, and when a malfunction can occur and where it can occur. So example I can say, like Southwest Airline analyzes sensor data on their plane in order to identify patterns that indicate a potential malfunction, and thus allowing the airlines to the necessary repairs before it schedules. So what we can do, we can put different sensors in any kind of machine. The example I have taken in front of you. So in any kind of machine we can put different sensors, and through the data that we will get from the sensor, we can predict like where is the problem we have in the machine and what effect we will have in future. So according to that data we can repair before that particular thing will happen, right? So that's called predictive analysis, and that we can do through machine learning technique also, that we can do it, predictive analysis. Different techniques we have. The number three, we have prescriptive analysis. So this kind of type, you can consider it like we have one type of machine learning method that's called reinforcement learning. So because in reinforcement learning, the machine will learn through environment. So here also you can see in prescriptive analysis, Google self-driving car is a perfect example of that, and it analyzes the environment. Like it will analyze the environment, what kind of environment, traffic is more or not. If traffic is not more, we can speed up. If traffic is more, then we have to go down, like that. And through that we can decide where we have to move. We have to take left turn, we have to take right turn, like that we can go for it. Got it? Next, the fourth one, we have diagnostic analysis. So diagnostic automatically says we have to diagnose what problems we have and what advantage we have. So according to that failure or advantage, whether we will success or not, So if we'll success, then what will be the success rate? So that's how it is used to determine why something happened in past. So we have different techniques of diagnostic analysis. Like number one, I can say drill down technique we have, then data discovery we have, data mining we have, and correlations we have. But we have to check the root cause of the event, whatever event it happened. So we have to check the root cause of it, and it uses probability for analysis. And for analysis of sales, it diagnose, or it will help to analyze why the sales of particular product has been increased or decreased. So for a social media marketing campaign, you can use diagnostic analysis to access the number of posts, mentions, followers, fans, page views, review, pains, etc., and analyze the failure or success rate of the campaign at a fundamental level. And our next step will be on the basis of the result of this. So whatever analysis we will get, so we will take next step accordingly. If we will be, will get failure, so we have to change the past data, whatever campaign we had. So we have to modify that, and again we will check the success rate, or again it may happen like failure also you can get. So accordingly, the next step we can take, right? So these four types of big data analytics we have here, like descriptive analysis, predictive analysis, prescriptive analysis, and diagnostic analysis. Now we will discuss about different tools that we can use for big data analytics. What kind of tools we have that we can use? So you see, like many tools we have to we have to perform big data analytics. I'll start with Hadoop. As I told you, it is a framework which allows to store big data in distributed fashion, and it will process it parallelly, right? So we will distribute that particular data, and we can process that particular distributed data parallelly. So we have data storage here, and we can process that particular data. So we must have platform to process it, and the platform is Hadoop here. Next, you can see here, it's this one. It's Apache Pig, this one. So Apache Pig is a platform from which is majorly used for analyzing large data set, and then represent these data set as data flows, right? So we must have the large data set, and we can analyze that particular data in a specific platform that I told you. It's Apache Pig. So basically, Pig is used for scripting, and the language that we have here, it's Pig Latin, right? The next one we have Kafka. So Kafka is basically a messaging system. So what it does basically, it is responsible for transferring data from one application to another application. So we have to process the data, but data must travel from one place to another place. So this Kafka is a platform, and it is basically is responsible for transferring data from one place to another place. Next one we have, you can see here, this one. It's Apache Hive, and basically it is a data warehousing tool, right? So it performs big data analytics using Hive query language, which is similar to SQL. So it is similar to SQL. This Hive that uses data warehousing tool. Next one we have Splunk, this one. So Splunk, it is a log analysis tool, log analysis platform. You can see here also, it is a log analysis tool. So what is basically log? So logs are generated on computing as well as non-computing devices. and they are stored in a particular directory. So it contains the information about every single transaction. So whatever transaction will take place, it has the information from where transaction happened, and what is the data we have in that transaction. Everything we can access, we can compute through this Splunk tool. The next one we have is Talent. Talent is it is a basically open source software integration platform which help to analyze and turns the data into business insights. It helps the companies to take real-time decision. So with this Talent software, the companies can take real-time decision, and accordingly they can perform the task, right? Because they will have the insights according to real-time decisions, and accordingly they can act. Next one we have Apache Spark. So it is used for real-time process. It is fast and to efficiently execute streaming, or you can say machine learning, right? So that's how the Apache Spark works. It is related to real-time processing basically. And the last one we have Apache HBase. This one. Apache HBase works on unstructured, or I can say semi-structured data. And as I told you, if we have unstructured data or semi-structured data, we cannot store in relational database. So we can say it's NoSQL database. So it is NoSQL database to store unstructured and semi-structured data, and it provides real-time read or write access. So these are, you will have the idea now, what different tools we have in terms of big data analytics and where we can use it, right? Now I'll come to big data analytics, revolutionizing different domains. So what are the different domains where revolutions has been done in different areas that we'll discuss now. So as you can see on the screen, we have different areas, different domains where big data analytics have been used, and now also we are using this big data analytics. Like you can consider healthcare industry or healthcare department. So as in past slides also I told you, for reducing the cost, for predict epidemic, for improve the quality of life in general. So that is the different domain in healthcare sector, and that is the use of big data analytics we have. And the application that we can use, it's electronic health card. So basically it stores the patient entire data. So as I told you, we can have implants, sensor that we can implant in human body, and we can collect the data, and according to that data we can predict the situation of the patient also, and we can act accordingly, right? Next is we have telecom. So telecom sector you can consider, we can record the data in real time and calculate fraudulent behavior. If any fraud will happen in telecom sector, that we can predict. And marketing also, in marketing we can have different better campaign based on target audience. So according to target audience, we can have different campaigns, so that our business will increase exponentially. So for that purpose we can use big data analytics in telecom sector also. Next one you can consider insurance. So in insurance sector, the risk assessment we can calculate using big data analytics, and fraudulent we can check, marketing strategy we can have, and the customer insights also we can have. So the past data, like if I talk about health insurance, so according to the past data we can have like this customer, how many times access that particular policy, and accordingly we can give different campaign so that the customer will take interest into it. The next one we have government sector, like estimated trade in the country, and central sale tax involves, that we can have sales invoices. So we can check, we can have big data analytics in government sector also. Finance, if I'll consider the bank and finance sector, the transactions we can check, the fraudulence we can check, unusual behavior of customer we can check for any fraudulent, like many calls you will get it. So according to different calls or data, we can analyze the thing, and we can check the fraudulent in finance or banking sector especially. Analysis can suggest blocking the unwanted access or fraud before it occurs. So we can check it through big data analytics, and we can intimate to the user for upcoming fraudulent or any fraud if it will occur. In automobile sector, if I'll consider like Rolls-Royce we have, or any machinery you can consider, where we can put different sensors, and through big data analytics we will get the data through sensors, and we can check if any problem will occur in the machine. So in Rolls-Royce, by fitting 100,000 sensors in the engine, and sensor will record every tiny detail, and we can analyze the data, whatever we got it from sensors. In education, you can consider the teacher can track the performance of a student in a better manner. Like if I have one student, and according to the past data, if a student passed in every subject in past, or we can have that kind of student also, that is the record is average. So the good student, the average student, and the low student, we can have different strategy, so that we can do it from big data analytics. We can analyze the past record of data, and we can make different strategy accordingly. The retail sector, that includes e-commerce and stores. So different business strategy we can apply, for different customers. So like you can, as I told you, the example of Amazon, Flipkart, the recommendation system. So according to the past purchase of the customer, we can suggest similar product when any customer will come to that app, and accordingly we can increase the sale of our business, right? So now we will discuss some use cases, like how use cases in real world, where we are using that big data analytics, that we will discuss now. Number one, I can take Starbucks.
Dr. Sunil, there is an announcement for the participants. All the participants, please check the chat box. We have shared the link for the e-certificate. So kindly fill the Google form to get the e-certificate on your email ID. Thank you. Please continue, sir.
Okay. So, I was on Starbucks. So Starbucks uses behavioral analysis to cater to its customer. So according to the purchase, according to the interest of the customer, we can give different ideas or different coupons, so that the customer will be more interested. So what we can do, we can collect the data by customer purchasing habit in order to send personalized coupon offer to the customer. Trends indicating whether the customer losing the interest in the product, so that we can give more offers direct to the customer in order to regenerate the interest. Right. So that's how Starbucks gather a lot of information about their customer, the coffee buying habits from the preferred drinks to what time of day they are usually ordering. On that particular time, we can give different offers, different coupons to the customers so that we can increase in sales. Alright, so that's how Starbucks uses big data analytics, on their customers, and they are increasing the sales. Number two, I can consider P&G product. It's Procter and Gamble products, right? So it is an association of different items that the customer places in their shopping basket. So market-based analysis customer buying habits by finding association between the different items the customer places in their shopping baskets. We can have predictive analysis, like I'm taking one example. If you go to any grocery store, if you want to buy bread, so what business analysis can be there, and what technique we can have from where you will get that bread. We can have the similar product that you want to buy at the same time, like with the bread you want to buy butter, also you want to buy milk, so we can have all the item at the same place, so that customer will be more interactive, or more customer will purchase more items what is similar, right? So that is the best example. The company uses simulation models and predictive analysis in order to create the best design for its products. So that is the another use case we have in big data analytics. So what are the, now come to trends in big data analytics? What trends we have? So if I'll consider with 2011, so you can see the market volume in billions US dollar. So in 2011, 7.6 billion US dollar market volume we had. And if I talk about 2020, 56 billion US dollar market volume we have in terms of big data. And according to predictive analysis, you can consider 2027. So 103 billion US dollar market volume of big data will have in future. So you can consider the future perspective of big data. Now, facts and statistics by Forbes. So this will be more interesting to you. Like Forbes have published already. Forbes is managed by Reliance Industries. The magazines we have. So 50% respondents reports fundamental change in their business and marketing functions after using big data analytics. So this is the impact of big data. 50% you can see the 50% respondents reports fundamental change exponentially in their business. And you can consider the sales and marketing functions. Next, you can check, productive to grow from 5.3 billion in 2018, and in 2026 it will be 19.4 billion US dollar, right? So the aggregate you can consider it will increase 54.9%. Next one, you can consider the Accenture reveals that 79% of enterprise executives claim that companies that do not embrace big data will face extinction, right? So 79% of enterprise will go down if will not use this big data analytics for their business, right? Next, you can consider the fact is decreasing expenses by 49.2%. and creating new avenues for innovation by 44.3%. So as I told you, the cost we can reduce, and it can reduce by 49.2%, and the new, avenues for innovation can be increased by 44.3%. Now, many students will have the question, what is the career in big data? So career will be very bright, I'm telling you. You can see soaring demand of analytics professional. So in near future also we'll see, now also the analytics, big data analytics is in huge demand. So if when it will be in huge demand, that the job opportunities also will be more. And if you talk about the salary aspects, is basically, I'm telling you, according to the America, in 2018, the big data analytics 50 best job are considered, and the average salary in America, it's $95,000. Right, the best job in America, in coming near future, they'll have approximately 5,000 big data analytics they require. As if I consider with India perspective, so in 2016 the average salary was below 10 lakh. In 2017 it was around 15 lakh, and in 2018 it has been increased by 20%, and in future it will be increased by 23%. So this is the job opportunities we have here in big data analytics. As salary aspect also I defined you. So what can be the profile in big data analytics that you can consider? Big data analytics business consultant, big data analytics architect, big data engineer, big data solution architect, big data analyst, analytic associate, business intelligence and analytics consultant, metrics and analysis specialist. So these are the job title defined here, and you can see your bright future in big data analytics. So what skill set we require for this one? So the skill set, if you want to be big data analytic, then here are the few skills which can be acquired depending upon the role in the field of big data analytics. So what are the prerequisites? Then the basic programming one must know. If any student or any person is seeing the bright future in big data analytics, then the first requirement is basic programming. One must have the basic programming knowledge. Number two, statistical and quantitative analysis. So using different kind of tools, you must know how to calculate statistical and quantitative analysis, how we can analyze that particular data using different tools. Number three, data warehousing. So because we have to store data at one place, so for that we must have SQL, or no SQL data also we can have. Like I told you, SQL is related to structured data, no SQL is related to unstructured or semi-structured data. So for SQL we must know MySQL or Oracle. For NoSQL we must know Apache, HBase, Cassandra, MongoDB. Different tools are there that one must know for data warehousing. Next one, data visualization. As I told you, user will not see and user cannot predict using data only. So you have to visualize the data. So you must know data visualization tool. Like I can say, it's R programming we have, AngularJS we have, that one must know how to visualize the data using different tools, so that it will be very simple to understand for any business person or any user I can consider. Next is specific business knowledge. If I talk about share market and I want to analyze the data of any firm, then the specific business, that particular business knowledge one must have. If I don't have the knowledge what I want to analyze, so it will be very difficult to predict what will be in near future as a business data analyst, right? And the last one is computational framework. So that also one must have the knowledge of that, like Apache Spark and Hadoop, so that we can do computational framework, like we can distribute the data, and the distributed data we can process parallelly. So that's how these are the basic skill set one must have if one wants to do in big data analytic direction. So thank you very much. I hope you got what I want to convey to you and what I deliver.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Hello. Dr. Sumit, Dr. Sunil, I think there is a technical glitch. I'm not getting your voice.
There are some questions in Q&A.
I'm not getting your voice, sir.
Okay. Sunilji, your voice is breaking actually. I think your video is off. Then if you can shut down your video, then I think so you will get the speed.
Sunil sir, I'll take the questions.
Yeah. Anshum.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Good morning.
Sir, we have few questions from the participants. One have asked about, is it mandatory that all 5 V's to be present for big data?
What I told, these are the characteristics of big data, the 5 V's that we have. And it's not compulsory, but these are the characteristics. So we can have all the characteristics at the same time, and it depends which kind of data we have. Got it?
I hope whoever put the question might have got the answer. So in continuation to this, I would also like to ask you to, recently I have come across 8 V's of data.
Okay.
Because so how do you comment on this, that the 5 V's and 8 V's?
See, I'm telling you, the characteristics you can define in any kind of manner. Like what I told you, the characteristics, these are the basic characteristics that we can have in big data, and accordingly you can increase the characteristic according to the data one must have. So that's how we can have 8, we can have more than 8, it depends.
So Dr. Pankaj Saxena, he wants to know some perspectives for research in big data analytics.
So, in big data analytics, you can use machine learning. And after that, the perspective you can see in different domains, in education sector, in retail sector, in any, in any industry. Many perspectives are there, where we can do research, we can analyze the data, and we can predict the future things, like in future how we can increase the sales. If I'm talking about the retail portion, if in education we can have if we have the student, then according to the different parameters of particular student, we can have different strategy. So we must have the data of a student, and accordingly we can make the different strategy for particular student. So we have many perspective in future related to research, and we can have now also you can see many research are going on related to big data and machine learning. So that's how.
So one of the attendees wants to know from where can he or she learn about big data analytics?
You can search online, many platforms are there. Coursera we have, then Upgrade we have. So you can go online, then you can see many platforms where you can learn, and after that today we had very short time of 1 hour. If in future I'll have time, then we'll discuss about R programming, and we can visualize the data, we can analyze the data, and we can visualize the data also. So you can go online, and after that you can have different platform over there where you can learn.
Sir, how does big data analytics differ from data science?
See, all the forms what I discussed, data science, data analytics, deep learning, they are interlinked together altogether. So data science is basically we have to analyze the data first, and according to the user demand, we have to access the data, and we have to represent according to that particular user or any person. So data scientist job title is there. Those person are analyze the data according to a specific domain.
So one of the attendee, Mr. Ajay Prasad, wants to know how big data and Hadoop are related to each other.
See, Hadoop is a tool. So what Hadoop does? So using Hadoop, we can have big data, large amount of data. We can divide or we can distribute that particular data, and we can process parallel, so that it will reduce the time to analyze it. So Hadoop is a platform where we can have different strategy of big data. So that's how it's different.
We'll take the last question.
Yeah.
I think there is one more after that.
No problem.
He wants to know the significance of data analytics in handling cyber threats. What is the significance?
Yeah, as I told you, in banking sector, you can consider in where we will have the online transaction. You can consider like regularly we can check different queries, and that coming out from unknown resources. We can analyze that queries coming from unknown resources, and we can check prudent. If we'll see any problem over there, then we should not access it. So using big data, we can analyze these kind of messages are prudent, and accordingly we can inform to the user, so that user must know go for it. So in cyber security, there is huge demand of big data analytics, and you can see over internet. There you will find different research are going on that you can read out, and after that you will know the background of this kind of platform.
So can I just add to your answer?
Yeah, please.
I would like to give you an example of this. The attack which was done in Taj Oberoi in Mumbai, it was they were able to predict it with the help of big data, because using the mails and chats that was going on, they could find out the users who were continuously sending coded messages to each other. So based on those coded message also, you can keep a track on cyber security, that if you're not talking to each other directly, that means something fishy can be there. I hope
absolutely.
I hope it replied your answer, sir. Another question is, any suggestions for beginners how to start with the understanding of big data?
So first of all, you must go for what is big data. In today's session also, I hope the user or who is asking the question got something, and you can go through the basic level of big data analytics. So what is the basics of big data analytics? After that, you move on to the tools, and after that you can apply the big data that you can access it from Kaggle, and that data you can apply on different tools and you can analyze it. So for beginners, you just see the tools, which tool is best for you, and accordingly you can go for the coding or the coding part, so that you can visualize the data and you can analyze the data.
So we don't have any other questions. So Sunil sir, should I wind up the session?
Yeah, wind up.
Okay, so it's my privilege to give vote of thanks to the attendees and the participants and our guest who has, I would like to thank Dr. Sumit Chaudahry for accepting our request to give a very good and informative session on big data analytics. Apart from this, I would also like to thank my IT team, School of IT, our HOD, and Oro University for providing us the platform for conduction of such kind of webinars, which are beneficial for everyone. Sumit sir, we would really like to thank you that you have taken out time for Oro University to benefit other people using our platform. We would definitely look forward for your another session where you can introduce R and show some visualization to the participants.
100%.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Anshu. Thank you, Dr. Sunil Kumar, for inviting me. Like, it's my pleasure to deliver my lecture. So thank you, Oro University. Thank you, all the panelists. Thank you, Dr. Sunil.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sumit, and thank you to all the participants, and thank you to Institute of Engineers who is associated with us in this webinar. Okay, thank you to all.
Thank you.